Let's get right into it. Number 1. The fear of being watched. You're just walking down a hallway. No monsters, no murderers, no emails from your boss. But suddenly, boom, your neck prickles, your spine shivers, and your brain says, "Hey, someone's watching you." You glance around like a paranoid meerkat. Nothing. So why do we feel this? Blame your amygdala, the drama queen of the brain. It evolved to overreact because early humans who didn't think they were being watched, they got eaten, or stabbed, or gossiped out of the tribe, which for prehistoric humans was practically a death sentence. So now, thousands of years later, your brain still throws a panic party over literally nothing just in case. Add in a sprinkle of pareidolia, the brain's habit of seeing faces in everything from outlets to potatoes, and your coat rack at 2 a.m. suddenly becomes a stalker named Greg. Your nervous system can't tell shadows from serial killers. It's just trying to keep you alive by imagining the worst. Thanks, brain. Basically, your ancestors' paranoia is now your late night insomnia. Number 2. Heights, aka gravity betrayal. Standing near a cliff is your brain's version of a software error. You look down and suddenly every cell in your body screams jump, even though you don't want to. That's not suicidal ideation, that's the high place phenomenon, and it's about as logical as putting a raccoon in charge of flight safety. Here's what's going on. Your brain is trying to double check that you know you're in danger. It throws you that urge to jump as a very unhelpful way of saying, be careful. It's like your nervous system shouting, don't fall by making you want to fall. Classic brain miscommunication. And then there's vertigo, not the movie, the physical sensation where your balance system starts short-circuiting from all that open space. Your inner ear gets confused, your eyes panic, and suddenly gravity feels like a prank. So, if you've ever frozen at the top of a building or clenched every muscle on a Ferris wheel, congratulations. You're not broken, you're just a descendant of nervous monkeys with excellent survival instincts and terrible coping mechanisms. Number 3. Fear of holes, trypophobia. Let's talk about tiny holes. No, not the plot holes in your favorite TV show. Actual holes, like honeycombs, lotus seed pods, or that cursed coral photo that haunts half the internet. Trypophobia is the unofficial fear of clusters of small holes, and while it's not officially recognized as a phobia by psychology handbooks, your skin doesn't care. Why does it make some people itch, squirm, or outright scream? One theory: your brain subconsciously associates these hole patterns with danger, like disease, or decay, or venomous animals. Basically, your visual system sees something gross and screams, "Don't touch it," before logic can even catch up. Another theory: it's just sensory overload. The weird symmetry, the texture, the unnatural repetition, it overwhelms the brain like a broken kaleidoscope. So if holy things make your skin crawl, relax. Your brain's just trying to stop you from licking a poisonous toad. Probably. Number 4. Public speaking, aka social death. Forget lions, tigers, and bears. Stand in front of 30 silent humans and try not to panic. Your heart races, your mouth dries up, your brain deletes the English language. Welcome to public speaking, humanity's number 1 irrational fear. And yes, it's weirder than death. This fear isn't about talking, it's about judgment. Your ancient brain thinks being rejected by the group, Anchu, being left outside the cave, Anjus, being eaten by wolves. So when you're up there giving a presentation on quarterly sales projections, your limbic system is screaming like you're about to be sacrificed to the gods. Add in the spotlight effect, your brain's tendency to believe everyone is watching everything you do, and you've got a recipe for instant stage fright. Ironically, the more you try not to mess up, the more your body betrays you. Shaky hands, voice cracks, memory blackouts. All because your biology doesn't know the difference between a TED Talk and a tiger pit. Number 5. The dark where logic goes to die. You're in your room, everything is fine, and then click, the lights go out. Suddenly your brain is no longer your friend. That pile of laundry demon, that creak in the floor murderer, the air too silent. Welcome to darkness, the original horror movie set. We don't fear the dark because it's dark. We fear what might be in the dark. Evolution wired us this way. Back when humans were basically walking snacks for night predators, fear of the dark was useful. The ones who ignored suspicious rustling sounds at night, they didn't pass on their genes. The ones who panicked and ran into a tree, somehow they survived. Darkness disables your vision, the sense your brain relies on most. So what does it do? Overcompensates. Your hearing sharpens, your imagination goes into overdrive. Every unknown shadow becomes a worst-case scenario simulator. The irony: you're more likely to trip over your own furniture than meet any ancient spirit, but your brain doesn't want facts, it wants fear, because fear means survival. Number 6. Clown's joy, but make it terrifying. Picture this bright red nose, painted smile, wobbly walk. Sounds like fun, right? Wrong. For a shocking number of people, clowns are straight up nightmare fuel. Welcome to Coulrophobia, the fear of clowns. Or as I like to call it, rational emotional instability. Why the fear for one clowns break the rules of facial expression. Their makeup freezes emotions into permanent cheer, hiding whatever's really going on. Your brain relies on tiny facial muscles to tell if someone's happy, angry, or about to throw a pie at you. With clowns, no clues, just that wide painted grin, forever. Also, they exist in the uncanny valley, a place where things are almost human but not quite, like ventriloquist dummies, or AI-generated influencers. It's creepy, confusing, and deeply uncomfortable. Your brain is like, are you joking or planning something sinister? And the answer is usually yes. Now, add horror movies, true crime documentaries, and that one birthday party in 1996 and bam, lifetime trauma sealed. Number 7. Mirrors at night, A.K.A. Nope. Let's say it's 3:17 a.m. You shuffle to the bathroom, you glance at the mirror, and for half a second you're sure something moved, something else. You stare, it stares, you blink, it doesn't. Welcome to your brain's favorite game, existential crisis meets supernatural panic. This fear taps into a few juicy psychological concepts. First, the Capgras delusion, where the brain fails to recognize faces correctly. Mix that with sleep deprivation and your own reflection suddenly becomes not you. It's like your brain glitches and thinks, that's an imposter, kill it with fire. Then there's mirror folklore. Thanks to centuries of ghost stories, Bloody Mary dares, and creepy bathroom legends, mirrors are forever cursed in pop culture. Your rational brain says it's just glass. Your primal brain says it's a portal, and now we're doomed. Fun fact, staring into a mirror in dim light for too long actually causes hallucinations. It's a real phenomenon called the strange face illusion. Your visual neurons get lazy and start filling in the gaps with freaky distortions. So yes, technically, your mirror can turn into a haunted painting. Sweet dreams. Number 8. Being buried alive. A surprisingly common panic button. Let's talk about one of the oldest and most viscerally horrifying fears, being buried alive. Because what's more fun than imagining being trapped in a box underground with no light, no air, and no cell service? This fear isn't irrational, it was actually a thing. In the 18th and 19th centuries, medical science was so bad at determining death that people were accidentally buried alive. A lot. So often, in fact, they started installing safety coffins with bells, air pipes, and even flags you could wave if you woke up in a pine box. Today, this fear still clings to our subconscious. Psychologically, it represents ultimate helplessness. No escape, no rescue. Just you, your breath, and the crushing weight of regret and dirt. Even claustrophobia, fear of enclosed spaces, has a branch called taphophobia, which is specifically about being buried alive. So if you've ever avoided watching that one scene in Kill Bill or found yourself hyperventilating in an elevator, you're not dramatic, you're just evolutionally cautious. Also, if your brain could file a complaint, this would be Exhibit A under Let's Not Do That. Number 9. Dolls. Yes, even the cute ones. They're small, they're smiling, they're dead-eyed little plastic people, and somehow they've wormed their way into both toy aisles and horror franchises. Welcome to automatonophobia, the fear of humanoid figures, especially dolls. And if you've ever seen one tilt its head unprompted, you understand why. The fear starts early. Children are encouraged to treat dolls like real babies, feed them, burp them, confide in them. But here's the thing, dolls never respond, they just stare. With their blank expressions and soulless eyes, they're like tiny judgmental therapists who forgot how to blink. Scientifically speaking, this again taps into the uncanny valley effect. Dolls are human-like, but not quite. The skin's too smooth, the eyes don't move. The mouth is frozen mid-laughter like it just heard your last secret. Your brain wants to categorize it as alive, but it's not. So it freaks out. Cue horror. And pop culture hasn't helped. Chucky, Annabelle, M. Freegan, even Toy Story had Sid's basement mutants. Dolls are the ultimate betrayal of childhood innocence, silently waiting until midnight to whisper Latin spells and ruin your life. Or just sit there, which might be worse. Number 10. Open water or the ocean is trying to kill you. Imagine this, you're floating alone in the ocean. No land in sight, no floor beneath you, just you, some salt water, and whatever the heck is under there. Enter thalassophobia, the fear of deep bodies of water. And honestly, it might be the most rational fear on this list. Your brain was not built for this. The ocean is alien territory. You're squishy, slow, and delicious. Everything down there has teeth venom or the ability to glow in ways that scream science experiment gone wrong. Also, depth perception dies in water. You don't know how far down it goes. Is it 10 feet, 1,000? Who knows? Could be Atlantis. Could be Cthulhu's front porch. Your imagination fills in the gaps, usually with Finn's tentacles and existential dread. Even harmless shadows start looking like a kraken with boundary issues. It's not just about drowning, it's about unknowable depth. It's about feeling like an intruder in a realm where you absolutely do not belong. Add in seaweed brushing your leg like it wants your number, and it's game over. Number 11. Germs, the invisible enemies. Germs are like the ghost pepper of fears, tiny, invisible, and guaranteed to make you panic sweat in public. You can't see them, but you know they're there lurking on doorknobs, elevator buttons, and that one guy who just coughed without covering his mouth. This fear exploded into public consciousness during the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's always been lurking in human behavior. It's called mysophobia, and it's the brain's very intense response to contamination risk, which again was useful back in the plague days. If you avoided rotting things, you didn't die. Simple. But the modern version, it's like a glitch in your personal firewall. A shopping cart suddenly becomes a biohazard, hand sanitizer becomes holy water, and someone handing you a shared pen feels like Russian roulette. Psychologically, this is rooted in the behavioral immune system, a subconscious mechanism that triggers disgust and avoidance before rational thought even kicks in. It's your body yelling unclean at full volume just in case. So if you've ever Lysoled a hotel room like a crime scene, congratulations. Your fear is old school and still thriving. Number 12. The phone. Ringing modern anxiety in a ringtone. Here's one for the 21st century. You're sitting peacefully and then your phone rings. Not a text, not a DM, an actual call, and suddenly you're frozen like a squirrel on caffeine. This fear doesn't have a fancy Greek name yet, but it's real. Phone call anxiety is skyrocketing, and it's not just social awkwardness. It's a combo of unpredictability, pressure, and emotional risk, all delivered via ringtone. See, texts give you time to think. Calls instant judgment, no escape, no edit button. You have to perform. Your tone, your timing, your ability to sound human instead of a confused robot, it's all up for critique. Plus, most unexpected calls these days mean something's wrong. Your bank, your boss, or your mom saying, "We need to talk." No one calls to say, "Everything's fine, just checking in." That's what memes are for. So if your stomach drops every time your phone vibrates like it's summoning doom, welcome to the club. We meet via email. Number 13. Failure, the achievement, Goblin. Ah yes, failure, the quiet little whisper in your brain that says, what if you totally screw this up and everyone sees and they all laugh and then you die alone? Charming, right? This fear isn't just about messing up, it's about what failure means. In many cultures, especially modern hustle till you implode society's, failure is basically treated like a character flaw. Didn't get the job, you must not have tried hard enough. Didn't finish that side project. Guess you're lazy and unworthy of love now. At its core, this is about self-worth tied to performance. Your brain, ever the drama king, starts equating mistakes with rejection and rejection with exile. Evolutionarily, being cast out of the group meant death. So your amygdala still panics like you're about to be eaten by wolves if your PowerPoint has a typo. To make things worse, perfectionism fuels the fire. You delay starting something because if it's not perfect, it's not safe. But spoiler alert, perfection doesn't exist and procrastination is just fear in a trench coat. So yes, failure feels terrifying, but most of the time it's just your nervous system trying to stop you from embarrassing yourself in front of imaginary haters. Thanks, brain. Number 14. Success. Wait. What? Plot twist. Some people are terrified of success. Not because they're lazy, but because success comes with new expectations, visibility, and here's the kicker, more opportunities to fail. It's called success anxiety, and it often shows up in perfectionists, imposter syndrome, sufferers, and anyone who's ever whispered, "What if I can't keep this up?" into a coffee-stained pillow. Success changes your identity. Suddenly, you're that person, the entrepreneur, the straight A student, the inspirational friend. And once you're up there, the fall seems way scarier. So some people sabotage their own wins to stay in the safety of the shadows. You can't fall off a pedestal if you never climb it right. It's like fear of heights, but for achievement. Your brain, that lovable saboteur, doesn't distinguish between exciting and threatening. So even when good things happen, it might respond with stress, panic, or a very long nap. Success. It's the fancy cake you're afraid to eat because someone might judge your chewing. Number 15. The unknown, A.K.A. the final boss of fear. Here it is, the kingpin, the architect, the cosmic riddle that fuels all other fears, the fear of the unknown. New job scary, moving to a new city, terrifying. Asking someone out might as well be base jumping without a parachute. Your brain hates uncertainty. It would rather have a predictable disaster than a vague maybe. Why? Because evolution again. The unknown was dangerous. It might contain predators, poisonous berries, or a surprise war. So your brain evolved to favor certainty, even negative certainty, over ambiguity. It would rather you expect the worst than walk into mystery barefoot. This fear shows up in tiny ways like checking your email 20 times, Googling every symptom, or asking 5 friends if your text sounded weird. It also shows up in big ways like never taking risks, avoiding change, and pretending you don't want more from life just so you can stay safe. But here's the cruel trick, almost everything good in life starts with uncertainty. Growth, love, meaning, all of it lives in the dark. So fear of the unknown is really fear of possibility. And that, my friend, might be the most human fear of all. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.